it's a little bit of revisionist history in the White House today. I mean, honestly, the more you think about American history, a lot of revisionism happens in the White House. With that in mind, let's get to this.
Your Royal Highness, the US intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you?
You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Today, President Donald Trump welcomed Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to the White House, and in a truly extraordinary claim, made it appear as though MBS knew nothing about Jamal Khashoggi, a United States resident and Washington Post journalist who was killed as a result of MBS ordering it to happen. Now, before we get to the details, including what our intelligence community has to say about it or did say about it, your 2 cents, Cenk?
I prefer leaders who don't chop people up. So I just want to see in this story, are there Trump voters who say, no, we love Saudi Muslim fundamentalists who dismember people as long as they're helping the Trump family get rich? I'm just curious. Or there's special allies. Let's find out.
So Trump rolled out the red carpet for Mohammed bin Salman. There's no question about it. There was a greeting from the US Marine Band. They had a formal dinner, very, very nice. Now, during their meeting in the Oval Office, a reporter from ABC pressed Trump and MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, on the 2018 murder of Jamal Khashoggi, which took place inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. Now, a team of 15 Saudi agents flew to Istanbul on government aircraft in October of that year and killed the journalist inside the consulate. After that, investigators concluded that Khashoggi was restrained after a struggle and injected with a large amount of a drug, which resulted in a fatal overdose. Then they proceeded to dismember his body and hand the dismembered body parts over to a local collaborator for disposal. MBS called it a painful incident.
About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or nothing illegal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc. in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
And of course, President Donald Trump, just as he did in his first term, provided cover for Mohammed bin Salman and claimed that he had no knowledge of the murder, despite the fact that our own intelligence agencies, under Trump's watch, by the way, said otherwise. The US intelligence officials determined that the Saudi crown prince likely approved the killing by Saudi agents of Khashoggi inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, according to US findings that were declassified in 2021 at the start of the Biden administration. Trump officials during his first administration refused to release the report. Now, by the way, Biden had campaigned on the promise of essentially bringing MBS to justice for what had happened, but did not do anything at all. To be fair, I don't know if you remember that he made that promise. Now, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence report also said the following: we base this assessment on the Crown Prince's control of decision making in the kingdom, the direct involvement of a key advisor and members of Mohammed bin Salman's protective detail in the operation, and the Crown Prince's support for using violent measures to silence dissidents abroad, including Khashoggi. The CIA made the same assessment and went so far as to say that MBS personally ordered the killing of Jamal Khashoggi. Officials at the time said that the conclusion was partially based on a recording provided by the Turkish government along with other American intelligence. The CIA also examined a call placed from inside the consulate after the killing by an alleged member of the Saudi hit team, Maher Mutreb, a security official who has often been seen at the Crown Prince's side and who was photographed entering and leaving the consulate on the day of the killing. But even at that time, Trump refused to acknowledge the findings. And in a recorded interview with Bob Woodward in 2020, Trump bragged about protecting MBS from scrutiny. He bragged about it. He bragged about lying to the American people about it, okay? And then today hosted this butcher inside the White House. What, 1 week after he hosted a different butcher, an Al-Qaeda terrorist inside the White House? Don't you feel so great? Aren't you tired of winning, America? This is what he said back in 2020, according to Bob Woodward. I've gotten involved very much. I know everything about the whole situation. Asked what happened exactly, Trump reasoned or responded, I saved his ass, meaning MBS, that's what happened. Woodward asked, saved whose ass? Trump says MBS. They were coming down on him very strongly, but I was able to get Congress to leave him alone. I was able to get them to stop. You know, I'm very friendly with those guys. Congress, I'm very friendly with Congress. And today Trump went so far as to praise MBS as a champion of human rights. I don't want to go to that video, we're running out of time. But why? Why would he want to protect MBS in the first place? I don't know, it might have something to do with all the business dealings that the Trump family has with Saudi Arabia in 2024 alone. Trump and his extended family collected an estimated $50 million or $50 million deals. $50 million from deals connected to Saudi Arabia. And just last month, the Trump Organization also announced plans for a Trump Plaza to be built in Saudi Arabia. And how could we forget Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner also received a $2 billion investment from the Saudi government for his investment fund or hedge fund.
Yeah. Now, the reaction to this story by American politicians outside of Trump and American media is a rational one. So credit where credit is due. They're like, okay, you chopped up a journalist that worked for an American paper. We're all outraged. Good, you should be outraged. We're gonna hold this foreign leader that's coming to visit the White House accountable. Good, you should hold him accountable. We're gonna hold Trump accountable. Good, you should. Okay, now let me ask you a series of questions. If it was an Israeli leader, do you think that it would have been the same reaction? Or do you think they would have said in this case, no, that's anti-Saudiist? Or if someone made the absurd, ludicrous claim that it's anti-Saudiist to accuse bin Salman of this, everybody would laugh them out of the room, right? And they should. Or let's go with something that's real, Islamophobia. If they say, wait a minute,
that's a good point. That is a good point, right? Like I obviously am sensitive to hatred of all forms, including Islamophobia. I never for 1 second question anyone as being Islamophobic for criticizing the US relationship and alliance with Saudi Arabia. Not for a second, no.
And you shouldn't. That doesn't make any sense. The Saudis, although they claim to be a Muslim state, are just a foreign government, right? Run by dictators. So of course you should be allowed to question them. Of course it's not Islamophobic. And then one more thing about it. Now there is an awful stereotype about Muslims being barbaric and savage, and it's in a lot of Western press written all the way for hundreds of years. Oh, the Turks are coming, the Arabs are coming, they're savages. So trope. Now, do I think it's a trope? Of course not, right? No, it's just a thing that they actually did do it, right?
Yep.
But would Israel get a different standard? Would right now there would be hundreds of pundits screaming into their TV, trope, but yet no one mentioned trope in this case. No one mentioned Islamophobia, no one mentioned anything, nor should they. So now, last thing, turn to Benjamin Netanyahu. He's come and visited the White House about 100 times, right? Did anyone ask him, not about one journalist killed, but 241 journalists killed just in the last couple of years by the IDF? That is a record number according to all organizations, including Committee to Protect Journalists. That is more than all the journalists killed in all other conflicts in the world combined. It's 241 times worse than what Saudi Arabia did. And Khashoggi, while working for an American paper, was not an American. And Shireen Abu Akleh was an American, and the Israelis did assassinate her, and our government confirmed that it was the IDF who assassinated her. Yet no one ever asks when Benjamin Netanyahu comes to the White House, hey, why did your government murder an American journalist.
Well, they don't want to be anti-Semites, of course.
But that's the point, guys. Because then if you ask a super legitimate question of a Saudi leader, they go, oh, bravo. You ask a super legitimate question of an Israeli leader, they're like, you're an anti-Semite and your life should be ruined.
By the way, I should note that after she asked her question, Trump had asked her, who are you with? Where are you from? She said ABC News. Fake. ABC News is fake news. ABC News is fake news. So now, she did get pushback from Trump because he doesn't like to be asked difficult questions, which is why he surrounded himself with friendly media outlets. I'll just put it that way, for the most part.
Now, you see, guys, we're leading by example. Is it that hard to be unbiased? No. You call out the Saudi government, you call out the Israeli government. You call out both governments.
Yep.
And you don't hide behind, oh, Islamophobia, oh, anti-Semitism. They're foreign governments. And it's the job of journalists to ask questions and to call them out. And to hold our leaders accountable for supporting disgusting leaders of other countries. There should not be an exception for any country in that regard. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.